Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are basically going to design the gallery activity so that whenever the user clicks this button right here, or if he goes to the navigation menu and if he selects this option, what is going to happen is that a new activity is going to start, which is nothing but the gallery activity. And inside the gallery activity we are basically going to have a few images of the house which he wants to buy. So basically I've downloaded 4 images right over here. So this image is for the bedroom, this one is for the kitchen, this one is for the living room, and the final one is for the study room. So what we are trying to do here is that we are trying to add these images as the card view into a new activity which is called as the gallery activity. And what we want to do here basically is that we want to design a scroll view which is going to contain our cards. So basically we are going to do two things. The first thing which we need to do is that we need to create a new activity which is basically a scroll view activity, so that the user could actually scroll through and view the images. And within the scroll view we are going to add a card view so that we have a card for each and every image, and right below the card it represents what this thing is. So basically the first thing which we need to do is that we need to create a new activity. But even before doing that, as we are going to use card views, we need to add some dependencies to our project. So the very first thing which we do is that we go to file, go to the project structure, go to the app right below the modules, and go to dependencies, and we are going to add in a dependency for a card. So make sure that whenever you are using cards in your application, you always have the card dependency, or else your application is not going to work. So in order to add up a dependency, we click this plus sign right here and select library dependency, and here we are going to type in com.android.support, and then we click this icon right here. And as you could see, if we go right below here, there is a dependency for a card view, so we simply select it and the dependency is going to get added. Then simply click OK. So once the dependency is added, it is going to take a little bit of time so as to sync the Gradle files with the project file. So one more thing which I needed to explain here is that whenever you add a dependency, what happens is that, as you could see, there is Gradle scripts option which is present right over here, which basically is a folder which contains all the Gradle scripts related to your application. So within this build.gradle, it is going to add up the dependency which we have added right now. So instead of just manually adding it, we could do the same thing by using the project settings. So once the dependency is added, we could go ahead and create our scroll view, which is nothing but the new activity. So in order to create a new activity, let's go to the Java folder, let's go to this first folder right here, and let's right click on it, go to new activity, and we are going to go with the scrolling activity, and let's name this thing as, let's say, gallery. Then simply click finish. And as you could see, our new activity has been added. Now if we have a look at the XML file right here, as you could see, this is our activity right here, and this thing is nothing but the header, and this thing is basically the thing which is going to scroll up. So instead of this text, what we want to do here is that we actually want to replace this text by the card view. So again, if we go over here, this is the file or the appropriate file for the gallery. So this is basically the content_gallery.xml. so if we switch here, we could make relevant changes like adding up a text view or adding up a card view right over here. So we switch to the design view and we are going to create, so we switch to the text view and we are going to create the card view right over here. So the very first thing which we do is that we delete this text view. And even before deleting the text view, what we need to do is that we need to change the color of this thing to the default color which we have used in our application. So in order to do so, what we do is that we go to this file right here which says activity_gallery.xml. we select this thing and we just need to change the background. So we look for a property called background, and what we do is that we copy the color which we have in our main menu. So this is the color, so we simply copy this thing, return back over here and just paste it over here. So as you could see, now the color has been added. And now let's also go ahead and change the color of the background. So now once it is done, the next thing which we do is that we create the card view. So we again switch back to the content_gallery, and right over here we delete the text view, and instead of a text view, what we do is that we add a linear layout over here. So we type linear layout, and the width of this linear layout is going to be equal to fill parent, and for the height is going to be wrap content. So once we have this linear layout right over here, the next thing which we do is that we basically go ahead and add a card view to this thing. And before even adding a card view, we specify one more property of this linear layout, which is nothing but the orientation. So we type Android orientation, and we are going to set it to vertical. So now once we have the linear layout in place, the next thing which we do is that we add up a card view right over here. So in order to add a card view, we go inside the linear layout tag, and even before that, let's format it correctly. So once it is done, we design a card view over here. So in order to make a card view, we type in Android dot support.v7.widget.cardView, and for the layout width, we are going to specify the layout width of the card view as match parent, and for the layout height of this thing right here, we are going to specify it equal to, let's say, 200 dp, and we are going to change it if we feel like changing it. And after this, we include two lines of code right above this. So the first line of code is going to be XMLNS, and we are going to type in Android equals, and in there we are going to type HTTP and this line of code here. And after this, we type in XMLNS Android equals HTTP, and we should have typed it in double quotes. So this is going to be HTTP, and this is going to be resources auto, and this thing should actually be equal to card view. So once it is done, as you could see, the card view has been successfully added over here. Now the only thing which we need to do is that in order to make it look a bit round, what we are going to do here is that we are going to add in the card corner radius over here. So we go right here, then we type card view and card corner radius, and we are going to specify this as 4 dp so as to make it a little bit rounded. And also we are going to add in the layout margin for this. So we type Android layout margin equals, and we are going to mention the margin as 4 dps. So once it is done, we are good to go. Now the only thing which remains is going to be the ID. So we type Android ID equals @+id slash, and let's give it an ID as card1. So once it is done, we are good to go. Now the only thing which we need to do is that we need to actually add in the image view and the text view to this thing. So even before doing that, what we need to do is that we need to add in one more linear layout within this card view. So the basic structure of this screen or this activity is going to be, we have a linear layout. Within the linear layout, we have the card view, and within the card view, so as to incorporate an image and text, we again have the linear layout so as to combine the text as well as the image view. So that's it for this tutorial, and in the next tutorial we'll be finally completing the design for our card view, and we are going to take the test drive of this application by simply running this application onto our device. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.